Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are here for another one of your questions about work. And this is one that felt like it might be a temporary question maybe a year and a half ago. And now for many of us, not all of us, feels like one that we've got to have our point of view on. So for those of you who are here for the first time, I'm Roy. I'm a startup investor in the future of work. And I'm here with Paula, who is a productivity expert, written a couple of books about productivity. Wait, what are the two titles?
Listful thinking.
Listful thinking. I love that play on words.
And listful living. Listful thinking and listful living. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So the question today is about home offices. What do I do? Like, we all need our space. Not all. Many of us who are fortunate enough to be able to work from home need our space to be able to do that. And some of us are operating with real constraints. And so thank you for joining us. Would love to hear any thoughts you have on how we ought to do that.
For sure. Well, it's first understanding what do you need to do in your space to do your best job, right? So knowing yourself and understanding what do you do all day. So a bulk of my work is, doing some video. I also do media training and coaching. And so I need really good light. I need a good place where I could stick my desk where I can get some good natural light. So that's what I always think about when I'm going to set up my office. So for people who are maybe working at the corner of their, kitchen table, does that best serve you? Is that really working and optimizing how you work best and how you should be working? Tapping into your own productivity style is really important too. Do you need it to be quiet? Do you like to listen to music? Like, how can you set up your space in a way that will really work best for you, especially since we're not in triage mode anymore? This is not something
it's time to invest in the time to really set yourself up correctly. Although, let me just challenge for a second, because does whether you need quiet or not have anything to do with how you set up your space?
It does.
How does it have anything to do?
Where are you going to set up your space? Where are you going to set it?
Where? Got it.
Where do you put the desk? Where do you decide? For instance, if you are somebody who, can't be listening to TV all day long, but you're right next to the TV and it's a temptation for you to turn on that TV, you don't want to do that, right?
Right.
Do you need natural light? Do you need to be looking at something inspiring out the window? Make sure that you think that through.
I love that. What else you got for us?
So the other thing too is to have a place where you can switch off, right? So at the end of the day, because it's so difficult because you're working and you're playing and you're living and you're eating all in the same space, right? And if you're like me, if you're a New Yorker, that space was small to begin with. So there's not that much space.
So do you have a Murphy bed or something like that like pulls down with your office like a bat? A bat, like pull the book in the library and it all spins around kind of thing.
There's a lot of really smart things you can do with furniture. And I actually created what I call my smoffice, my small office here in New York City, which is a little office space that I put into my closet.
Do you want me to pull it up?
Yes, let's look at it.
So this is it.
Yes, this is my smoffice. And as you can see, this is actually in a closet here. And so I have a space for my printer. There's all my books. I have my bookshelf. And then that is where my computer goes. I don't always work in that space because it is a little bit tight.
Are you talking from that space right now
as
we speak? You're not.
No,
okay.
I'm not. So there's not good lighting there. There's not good lighting.
That's what I was going to say. Hard to get lighting in an office, but I love seeing your book there, Listful Living. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yes. But the reason I have this was to have it as a close down for the day. So I have a whole strategy at the end of the day where you have to close the door and actually put the stuff away, because otherwise you will just continue to work.
I love that.
It's so difficult to turn it off. But if you can physically put this in a space and have this be the place where I store all of my office stuff, then it's not on my kitchen table.
I love it.
Then it's not in my dining room. Then it's not on my bed or wherever. You need to have a separate space. And at the end of the day, one of the things that I do, because I love lists, as my shutdown mode, is to make a list for the following day. It is the last activity I do before I end every single day, every work day.
It's almost like a ritual commute that you have there. Instead of commuting on the subway or something like that, you're just stepping out and closing the door.
Totally.
I think that's fantastic. And so any other, by the way, what do you use for keeping your lists? Do you use software? Do you use paper?
I use good old paper and pen. That's it.
All right.
I mean, I've been doing that for years. When I was a TV producer, I did it the exact same way. So working in corporate America, now working for myself, you have to find what works for you and just stick with it.
I love it. I use Workflowy, which I like so
Oh,
much. We ended up investing in it, which is just a
cool.
list keeping software. It's not more complicated than that, but it lets you keep lists within lists. So you can just
Oh,
drill all the way down and come all the way back up
I'm
without
writing it
being
down.
cluttered by it all.
I love
And so
that.
all my lists live there. You can share them and stuff like
I'll
that,
check it
that kind of
out.
thing. And Larry says, thank you, Larry. And by the way, Larry, you're invited as a guest anytime. Super helpful for those of us working from a home office. And then, all right, here's a real practical one, though. A
Okay.
suggestion for how to turn off the space when it's in your bedroom. Because a lot of people do not have a space other than in their
Yeah,
bedroom. I was in my bedroom for a while until my wife kicked me out of the working space. Not the, now
I get it.
now I'm in our shed, basically. And so what do you do? Like, what's a practical suggestion on that?
Can you set up a barrier? Is there something you could bring in? Even one of those like screens in the back that you could sort of bring in this is part of your workday, right? You set up your
Yeah.
office, you have a screen behind you. So the bed is not right there and all your
When you
video
say screen,
calls.
you're not talking about a computer monitor. You're talking about like one of those like clothing changing type screens, like
Exactly.
that kind of. Yeah, we had like a bamboo thing that we just
Totally.
unrolled, and you can get
Yeah.
them at Home Depot. They're not too expensive, and I'm sure people who have better artistic sensibilities are more more clever on this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, Paula, any parting thoughts before we go?
Well, it evolves over time, right? And so this is something that we're learning. Don't be so hard on yourself if the first thing you do doesn't work. Try
I
something
love that.
else.
I love that. I think it's an experimentation. And as you said, we're out of triage mode. And I love the thoughts both on tuning your workspace to how you like to work. Like I know I like to be able to look and see outside, even though now I have the
Yes.
sun in my face. So I don't know, whatever. You and our viewers have to pay the price for that. And
Right.
then also creating that ritual commute of, in your case, the Smoffice, which is a great name.
Thank you.
And Judith is shopping for a screen now. That's awesome. Thank you, Judith, for saying that. Oh, we love getting those comments. Yay.
Awesome.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, thank you. And if anybody has other questions, for future days, feel free to ask. You can find us on the internet. This is how we get lots of our questions. And Paula would love to have you back. And thank you so much for doing this.
Of course. See you soon.